Let's see here. Participants, new share, pause share. I saw my video until you came on. So share. Oh.
Trying to, yeah. You can't see yourself?
Oh, now I can. I just had to click the little thumbnail box video type thing here. So hold on, let me blow that up. Oops. Oh, I see, because I had, there we go. Nice.
I need to stop. Are you seeing my screen?
I can see you. I can see, a kind of a board that says mute, stop video participants.
Oh, so all that.
I just want to get where I'm large here.
What's this?
Yeah, I'm trying to get large too, because it's just a little itty bitty thumbnail.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So rename by myself.
Now close out those other things, and then you're good.
Okay.
See your post.
Oh, minimize like that. Did you figure it out, Terrance?
I have, I can see both of us. I'm in this, I'm on the top, y'all are on the bottom. Just this little, they're only little 1-inch box, right?
Yeah.
I think if you go on the box itself, that's what I did. And then it got rid of it.
Screen options there, but now we can't see us.
Yeah, which is weird.
We're a good team.
View options. I don't know.
That's okay. This is good. This is good because I'd like to learn how to do this also. This is amazing.
Yeah, well, what's good about this too is I just found out today that you can do webinars. I upgraded a little bit, which is $15 a month. But then what you can do is record right to. I'm not doing that right now, but you can do live recordings on Facebook, and you can do right to YouTube, which then gives you tons of content and whatnot.
That's amazing. So that saves grabbing the GoPro and out fucking around and then download it to iMovie, everything. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. And you're saying that I could potentially be interviewing you right now and recording it, keeping that content
Exactly. And what it could also do is if you have because you do have a big following, is you could go, if you have a Facebook group that has say a couple thousand people, we go live and we just interview. So it's almost because I want to start getting into the podcast type of thing, which is
absolutely
just like this really, right? And you're just two guys talking about getting shit done and
that's right.
What's working and what's not working, and is it a sunny day out or is it cloudy?
Absolutely. We were thinking when we started a support group a few weeks ago in Whistler there, we thought it'd be a really amazing opportunity for a lot of people that are around the world who do follow us. We've got 80 followers, but 40 of them really want to participate in the support group. And we wanted to call it sort of like a post-traumatic stress anonymous, similar to Alcoholics Anonymous, where people don't have to show up to the actual meeting. They can just show up online like this and just sit there on their computer and listen. And they can put in their 2 cents also, right?
I think that's awesome because especially with the PTSD. I mean, hey, I have it with my addiction too, where I didn't want to leave the house or anything like that. But if I had something like this, I would listen. I would show up and listen. I feel like we're. There you are.
Absolutely, it's a click away somewhere where people can, they can coffee mug if they want to, and listen and actually get to watch people, and ultimately helps when you're depressed, you're sad. Oh, it says my internet connections. However, they're. Just connecting in a group and just listening to how other people are feeling also just really truly lets them feel that, right? Okay, I'm not the only one having a shitty day, or I'm not the only one super depressed right now, right? So that's why those groups work for a lot of people, because it's just, you can just sit and okay, maybe my shit's not nearly as bad as that guy. It's wow, okay,
yeah.
I'm not doing so bad.
Yeah. Or I thought my shit was worse than everybody's, and I'm not alone, right?
That's right.
other people are
Absolutely.
feeling the same way. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Where are you right now?
In my office.
How are you? I'm just trying to take in what's
It's my
behind
office. It's my
That's
office. I'm under my gazebo.
Is that you're still in? Are you still in Whistler?
No, I left Whistler 2 days ago. This is my home here.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. So this is the office. Usually I'm sitting down by the fire, but haven't got one going yet today. So
is it like, are you outside then? Or are those windows behind you? Oh no, you're outside.
oh yeah, no, totally. Like this is my gazebo,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, really shitty view.
The
Yeah, no, I have to be outside. I can't sit. I don't like to sit inside. I like to just be out in the fresh air and just okay. It's nice and quiet up here.
What's the temperature there right now?
Oh, it's probably sitting about 3 degrees
Oh, so it's chilly.
for some.
Yeah.
Like I'm like the only guy who drives around with no roof on his Jeep like all winter long. I open up the doors, there's a foot of snow in there. It's like, all right, just scoop it out and go, right?
Nice.
I love it. Yeah. As long as I got a windshield, that's all you need.
Yeah.
So tell me what's going on here. Like, what do you guys, so what is this all about? What are you aiming, like you say, you want to get web podcasts? Tell me even what a podcast is, because I've been very interested in that also.
Well, I'm just learning myself. Basically, what I think it is, it gives an opportunity to just, okay, so we have this business. It's all based on, and it kind of come around after Jenny was diagnosed with PTSD. Did the viral post. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a second, there's a need. There again, we're not alone here. And people need. I just realized that I'm in June 1st. I'm 9 years clean and sober, and that's through getting shit done, taking action. Right?
Nice. Yes.
But this PTSD is a little bit new to me because it's not necessarily. It's less of a choice. It's more of what you're exposed to. It's how your brain has been changed and how it reacts to different triggers, and everybody's a little bit different, but everybody's all the same kind of deal. So we wanted to come down to our niche, which is basically what that face group says. It's health and wellness surrounding PTSD, alcoholism, and addiction, because I think the PTSD addiction accumulates from it because everybody is trying to learn how to cope with this shit, especially when they don't even know that they're diagnosed with it yet or anything like that. But I also wanted to create a group that's all based around what I've learned in my 9 years of just, I still don't have anything figured out, but I'm loving life. What I do have figured out is that when I wake up, I don't want to sleep. I am pretty much ready for the day. I'm excited and I'm happy. And I've never had that before. I used to wake up every day wanting to kill myself. That was my goal for the day. And I'm the opposite end of that spectrum, and I want that for everybody. So I wanted to create a group that gives tons of content.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we do have a program. Unfortunately, I have to pay bills. So, like, if anybody wants to sign up, you have us, 24/7 online. We also have a one-on-one studio. It's all about health and fitness. But online, we're just talking strictly about creating goals, taking action, and everything in recovery, how to maybe find spirituality, how to find a way to get the freak out of bed and go take a shower today. And I had the idea of I'm not diagnosed with PTSD, although some days I feel like I may have a little bit in there. So what I found, though, a lot of the guys and a lot of people that were coming into the group had a lot of information and have been diagnosed for years and have kind of got to the other side of where I am with addiction, right? So I kind of came to my head like, why don't I try to interview some of these guys and you guys kind of be the experts in that field? I mean, Jenny's obviously taking tons of action and doing a great job too, but she's pretty new as well, right? As far as the PTSD aspect is. But we're just all about, we've seen how fitness, health, and wellness, even before the PTSD and everything, because of my addiction background, I was a counselor for residential youth rehab.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
And every single one of those guys was coming up to me as soon as they got a few months under them. They were just like, dude, teach me how to work out. I want to get huge. I want to go. And they have, you know what I mean? It's you know, physical, mental, spiritual. And
yes.
You need to balance all those. And I mean, you don't have to do it right away. You can take the rest of your life trying to balance those. But as long as you have the goals to do that, I feel that you're going to be a pretty happy cat, you know, whatever happy looks like for you too. I mean, if it's getting out of bed, and we went to a pretty great seminar yesterday with Michael Landsberg and Malarchuk there.
How's that?
It was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing because again, it was just hearing their stories, and especially Clint's story. I mean, this guy literally tried to take he has a bullet embedded in his skull, you know.
Have you read that book, Terrance? Have you read his book, The Crazy Game?
I've actually never read a book before.
Oh.
I've wrote a book, but I've never read one.
Nice.
So whenever you feel so inclined, you might want to look at it. It's pretty, I just started it, but he has a really incredible story. Really.
Tell me about it. Give me what's going on. Yeah, I'd love to hear great stories.
What you took from it, because you said that you related to it. So.
Yeah.
Like, are you familiar with who he is?
No idea. No.
Okay, so he was an NHL goalie, played for the Buffalo Sabres. Is that right?
What's his name?
Clint Malarchuk.
Oh, Malarchuk. Okay.
Juggler's vein.
Actually, you know what? I did see a story. I saw a video, like a 12-minute video of him. Is he like an old cowboy?
Yeah.
And he talks about, you know, how this had happened. And he was one of the very first pioneers to actually be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress long ago, like 1990s or in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't he run some sort of does he do horseback camps or something?
Yeah, for military, his heart's kind of in the military and first responders. But you can tell he's like military, right? Like I think he brings them onto his ranch.
That's the American. You know,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes,
crazy story, and then he, I guess before he knew he had PTSD. I mean, he had obsessive compulsive tendencies growing up, and then of course his accident happened 1989, and from there just sort of started this downward spiral. He dropped down to the minors, wasn't playing as well, heavily medicated for, you know, depression, anxiety, OCD, but never really diagnosed at that time with PTSD until another NHL player some 20 years later had a similar accident, ironically in Buffalo, the same city where his accident happened. And that like pushed him over the edge, pushed him completely over the edge. So now he's,
because the news all reached out to him and said, how does this make you feel? And he just relived it, bang. Couldn't take it, cup over full.
Then, you know, started using alcohol, obviously, to cope, became profoundly depressed, and then tried to shoot himself. Well, actually did shoot himself, tried to kill himself. His wife witnessed the incident. Yeah. And he shot himself, and the bullet landed somewhere in his frontal lobe. And
they showed the X-ray of it. They showed the X-ray of it. It shattered everything. And he looked at his wife while he was just after done it, and he said, "Look what you've done to me.
Yeah, look
You
what
did this.
you
You
do.
did this." Yeah,
Yeah. So
pretty powerful.
He had, quite a story of, of survival, of,
Yeah.
resilience, of, being in that friggin' darkness, it was just a crazy story.
And then that was the point where they basically threw him in, and he got help, and that's where he said he just started crying, couldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
Days and days and days and days. And what I liked is, because I was going to ask them, because I didn't hear too much of the recovery side, and then he threw up a slide. I took a picture of it too. He says, "Today, me today," and then it says action. And then he has counseling, working out, and the most important one, though, serving.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
I mean, I was just like, dude, you're yes.
Yes.
This is what it's all about. And
Yes, absolutely. You guys actually got to listen to his talk yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he was there, like, you actually got to see him in person?
We met him.
Awesome. Buddy.
He actually walked up to Jenny and said, "You are effing hot."
Of course he did.
And I said, "Thank you." To Daryl and said, "Your wife's effing
See, Daryl can translate it to what he actually meant. You have a pretty wife, really. Well, you know what? That's really cool. And where was he in? I guess he's in Ontario.
Actually, he just came up for this Waterloo Regional Police, like just sort of a neighboring town from us here. They hosted the event. Michael Landsberg and his Sick Not Weak campaign. I guess Clint Malarchuk is a part of that. Have you heard of Sick Not Weak?
No.
Like it's part of like Bell Talk, right? That's
Let's Talk. Yeah.
Let's Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Michael Landsberg? He's was he like
Off the Record?
Yeah, right.
Yes,
I think that's okay. Right. And so he's doing these talks also.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's in with the mental health and the post-traumatic stress.
He has clinical depression.
Okay.
I met him years ago when I was the Keg, because the Keg sponsored Off the Record. And I was in a country band at the time, and they flew us out to Whistler.
Yeah, right.
To do like a little get-together thing, and Landsberg was there.
Wow.
Him and I were the only kind of sober ones. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't drink." And then he opened up about his depression, because I was quite open. Like, I'm an alcoholic, man. You don't want me to drink, trust me.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and so we kind of connected like that, and he remembered me yesterday, and so
wow, cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's good. So has he helped motivate and inspire you guys to get on this path that you're on today?
Well, I mean, it's part of it. I think like a big part of it is just getting out there some days and meeting like people like you and a lot of the other people actually in the group. There's a lot of people that are kind of doing what we're all trying to do, and that's raise awareness and get people talking openly and get rid of some of that fear that is preventing people from doing a lot of talking. And like Daryl mentioned, the bottom line is serving others. So I think, like I said, we're doing our best to connect with as many people as we possibly can, locally and not so locally, to just try to, we want to hear about what everyone else is doing, and because I think that there's, your organization, a lot of people know about you, man.
Yeah, your name keeps coming up. Your name keeps coming up huge.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, last night at the conference, your name was coming up a few times.
No, come on. Nobody knows.
Like just with some people that we were talking to there. Yeah.
Really? Really?
That I found you through Facebook and
really?
So
that's really cool. Because I actually, I went to, I clearly, I sent a message to you at 7:00 this morning. I was still up. And, I just I work as hard as I can until my eyes just actually shut and I face plant onto my table. Because I really don't feel that, we're anybody even knows what we're doing yet. Like, we get a on Facebook. I haven't got on the Instagram. This program that we just launched Week to Speak. It's some really amazing things have happened. I have 1,000 hours of content of going up Whistler, out to Lions Bay Fire Rescue, over to the legislature building, Stanley Park with 2 treatment centers, the downtown east side, out to Kent Prison. It's been done. The service, the sitting on a heart that I try to start to end and make posts. Phone, I've got to travel again. Like, this is really my second day home since I talked to you in Germany.
Wow.
This is like, so I feel like we could, I guess bottom line is I'm really glad to hear somebody knows us on the East Coast already. That's great. Because at the end of the day, when you say our organization, and I always say the words we, I don't really, it really is just one guy sitting here trying my best to learn how to do all this on my own. Right? So, but we do have a lot.
Maybe you could tell us sort of what inspired that for you. Like, I know you and I have talked before, and I've heard a lot of your amazing story, but maybe just tell us like how this sort of came to be for you.
When you say this, that's open. What would you be?
So your idea for It's Not Weak to Speak.
So the idea for It's Not Weak to Speak. Well, that's what happened. You're familiar with what had happened during the Olympics, right? And 1 hour after the games are over was the first time I tried to end my life. And when I went to see my doctor 4 days afterwards, say, like, hey man, like I have a family, I have a volunteer position on the mountain. I am a firefighter. I respond to Olympic athletes, crashes. Like, I want to live. I love to live, play on 2 hockey teams. Why is it that I just tried to take my life? I don't even know why I tried to do that. I think you have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I've never heard the word before. I was like, what the fuck is this? Some sort of bullshit diagnosis? Like, why have I never heard of this before? He says, well, you're going to need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, get diagnosed. But in the meantime, script after script after script. Now, my boss comes over to my house, Mario Chartrand, and he says to me, I said, hey man, I just tried to actually take my life. And he says, you need to go up to your cabin, get away from here, and don't talk to anybody about this, because he knew I wanted to become a paramedic after EMR at the track. He says, if you talk about or make any sort of claims for post-traumatic stress disorder, it's going to show up on your record. You're going to look weak, and you're not going to get in as a paramedic ever. It's going to show up as a ding on your report, and they'll never take you. So I kept my mouth shut, and I kept my mouth shut for about a year and a half, not talking to anybody. And it wasn't just because he told me that. It was because I had spent many years, my past working in the organ many years. You don't talk. You keep your mouth shut. You figure it out, or you go escape your reality. Start doing some leaners. One thing leads to the next, right? So with this program, with It's Not Weak to Speak, like over the course of the last year since breaking the chain, I realized with meeting a lot of people and learning a lot about post-traumatic stress, it doesn't just happen with first responders. This is something, you know, I'm sure you've done your history on, educated yourself on it. I've learned that the number one tool to use to manage yourself is talk about it. Talk about your feelings today, not necessarily what happened yesterday, because we can't change that. It's about being in the moment today and talk about how you feel. And it's not weak to speak. We as men, we grow up in this society where you have to be strong. You can't show tears. You know, chicks can sit down with a glass of wine all day long and cry and talk and talk and talk and everything's good. You won't see guys doing that, you know? So I find that if we can educate people and give them those tools of that it's okay to talk about how we feel, then that's the number one message that we could send to people. That if you're a fireman, policeman, soldier, whoever it might be, you need to talk about it to start getting the help that you need. You really need to you need to talk about it and not worry about how you're going to be looked at. No matter how big and strong you are, no matter what you've done overseas, no matter what you've done as a policeman, fireman, no matter what, at the end of the day, when you strip off that uniform, we're all human beings, period, no matter what you wear. So it's key to talk about it and get that support. Nobody's going to help you if you don't talk about it, right?
What kind of changes have you seen? When did you learn that? Like, where did you have to go in order to say, wait a second, here's the coping mechanism of I just need to talk? What led to that?
So what led to, what made me decide to do, it's not weak to speak and realize that it's not weak to speak, that actually helped to talk?
Yeah, where did you learn those coping strategies?
I think, these are all, everything that has been done is all self. I don't Google stuff. I don't, when I came up here to my cabin 2 years ago, I came off the downtown east side. I came off a big 3-week tear, robbing heroin dealers, smoking crack, snorting crystal meth, running amok. My psychosis was out. I was out to fucking lunch, man. And it was when I came up here and sat with myself, I had to take that time. And I didn't do this on purpose. It's just what had happened. I had to, look at it up here. We don't have grocery stores. We have nothing up here, right? So that basic animal instinct took over of survival, which is what's important today. What you tell me, what are our 3 basic needs of survival?
Eat, sleep, and
and probably
exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise.
So I definitely had to keep warm. So I came up here, started gathering firewood because I didn't have any power in my house. I had nothing. I had to just start gathering up wood to keep warm. And as you're keeping warm and gathering, you're burning calories. I'm hungry. I hadn't eaten for 3 weeks. I went out, started trying to hunt. Went and started hanging out with the natives. They took me fishing. They took me hunting. So now I have my nutrition organic. Now I do have a roof over my head, shelter and heat, and just living in the moment of basic survival, going around, keeping the meat cold, figuring out where I'm going to get more wood. And that's when I found that tractor tire. About 7 days, almost, I can't remember precisely days, they kind of ran together, but about a week after, being up here, I found this old tractor tire on the side of a riverbank. I was out there fishing and I had you ever watch UFC?
All
Love
the
it.
time.
Okay. So you're familiar with George St. Pierre.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching GSP. I think he was fighting like Chuck the Iceman Liddell or something. It was a big cage fight, big title fight. And I remembered when I saw that, I remembered George St. Pierre training for this fight by flipping his tire around the mountains. And I thought, man, I'm gonna become strong like GSP, buddy. I'm gonna be the strongest motherfucker. I'm gonna come back and show all those people who spit on you while you're down, who stab you in the back while you're reaching for help. I'm going to show all of those people that I really am somebody, and I am the strongest motherfucking boss. And I got all, this is my ego. I'm all like, I'm going to do this. I'm pumping myself up. I'm getting jacked. I go over this tire and I clean out 20 years of freaking muck, dirt, grass, whatever, and I get in on that mother. I sit down. I get up on it. Push it. Flip it over and walked away. Whose fucking idea is that? I'm definitely not. I'm no GSP. I'm not. No, I'm just some fucking wash up drug addict from the streets. Nobody wants me. I'm nobody. Look at me. I'm up here just daydreaming. And that's when I got back here. I was cooking salmon down here at my fire, and I was like, I was disappointed in myself because I had let this tire beat me. And I was like, you know what? Out of everything that I've endured in life, I'm going to let this fucking tractor tire beat the boss? So I got my headlamp out. I went back and I flipped it a few more times and walked away. I quit. I went back the next day and I tried again and again and again every single day. On about my third week, I tell you, Jenny and Ralph, I'd never felt better in my life because I had to beat the worst enemy, which was my mind that kept telling me that I couldn't do it. And just getting out there and challenging myself, setting that goal of, I'm going to make it to the beach today. And within 6 hours, I'm at the beach, and that feeling of, wow, I didn't say I'm going to climb that mountain. I said, I'm just going to make it right there. And I would take as long as it took to get there. I didn't care because I had nothing but time, nothing but freedom. I had no rules, no laws, no bylaws, no tickets, no insurance to get. It was just myself, nature, this tire. So get down to the lake and, oh, wow, I'm going to go a little bit further. And like I said, at the 3-week point, I'm doing almost 15 hours a day because I'm sitting there and I felt so good by like what you're talking about, setting these goals and accomplishing them one little bit at a time, one small step at a time, one flip at a time. Because, when my back got sore, I'd sit down, I'd figure it out, do some push-ups then. Arms get sore, sit in it and do some nice, slow sit-ups. And if I want to take a break, I take a break. I sit around. And at that point is when I started reaching out to my higher power, which is just the trees, the lakes, the rivers, the mountains, nature. And I started talking to my friends who had passed away, my grandma, my grandpa, the athlete, my dad. I just started talking to them and thanking them for my life. Actually consciously sitting here thinking, I am grateful for my life today. And I had to consciously think about forgiving the people in my past who have done me wrong, but maybe I'm the only one who thinks, maybe I'm the only one that sees what they've done wrong. Do those people even know they did me wrong? Did they do that on purpose? So I had to sit there and I had a list like the Vancouver Olympic Committee, WCB, the treatment center, detox, the psychologist. I had these lists of people that I used to blame for my downfalls and me not getting the help or the money. I said, I have to actually forgive those people and let them go. be grateful for what I have today. I started to just take some nice deep breaths. And you actually get to stop your mind enough where you can stop and you can actually hear the trees grow. You watch and you see how nature survives. They don't do it by money. They don't have time. It's simple. It's a slow process. And so, you know, I started dreaming again. I couldn't wait to get up in the morning to get back out at this damn tire and just to see what I could do in a day. It wasn't like, I'm going to do a kilometer. No, I'm just going to get out there and be in the moment and stop and be with self. And take that time to get to actually know myself, accept myself for myself so I can be myself and love myself. And when I started doing this, it's like, wow, man, I can't believe out of 40 years, from juvenile detention centers to jails, to being a prostitute, to being a crystal meth addict, gangbanger, drive-by shootings, jails, prisons, all the shit, I'd never felt better in my life. This was my new drug. This was my new addiction. I traded the substance. I have to accept that I am an addict and change what I'm addicted to. So I thought, you know, wow, I can't believe no doctors, psychologists, treatment centers, nobody suggested take the time to get up into nature where there is no time, there is no money, there is no rules, there's no laws, and take that time to, unlike in the city, or like I call the city the cage. You know, you get into that cage. How are you supposed to heal the mind with so much going on? You can't, it's virtually impossible. It's like, if you have a broken leg, you go to the doctor's office or whatnot, or the hospital, you come out of surgery, you know, do you go back to that hospital 1 hour per week or just, you know, 3 hours a day to heal? No, you need to lay down for 2 or 3 months before you can start being mobile again. So how do you think you're going to ever heal a mind injury? By being somewhere where there's constant, so much fucking shit, it'll never happen. One day that a lot of people will suffer, unfortunately, for the rest of their lives, unless you have an opportunity to come up and have the space and the time away, whether it be 30, 60, 90 days or a year away from the cage, to come up here to give yourself what works for you. That time, those tools, find your higher power. Do some breaths, sleep, relax, actually take in what's going on and get to know yourself again without all the actions, right? So that's at that point where I said to myself, what am I going to do in life now? And I'm getting to your question. I have always a big answer.
That's okay.
This is great. This is what
I am getting to your question. That's when I decided, well, I had to make a decision. Now that I feel, what do I want to do for a career? I tried 15 years in the streets, not an option. I tried working for the good, not an option. You know, this side of the tracks, actually, the good guys is twice as corrupt as the underworld. So I certainly didn't want either. And I thought, you know what, I have 2 bedrooms in my cabin. I'm going to open those up to 2 people out there who are suffering with post-traumatic stress also, who've lost their family, lost their jobs. Maybe they've attempted suicide. They have nothing. But open up the doors to my cabin so that they can have that time to heal also, the same way that I did. Just open the doors the same and offer what Mother Nature offers us, which is this space, this freedom. It's taking the shackles and the chains of slavery off of us and just getting to be up here and be yourself on your time, not anybody else's fucking ticker. But I thought, how am I going to do that? I don't have a penny to my name. I mean, I'm 3 weeks off the Lionsgate fucking bridge. I mean, I don't know how to use the internet. I'm 200 kilometers away from people. Who's going to want to come? Who's going to listen to this guy with this crazy dream? Well, very long story short, it took almost 4 months of believing in myself and setting that goal and taking those small steps. The same as I flipped that tire, it took 4 months to raise $87,000 worth of corporate sponsorships. And that's where we ran Camp My Way. I didn't just bring 2 people up here. It became 16 people. And when 16 people came up here, with the amount of support from the community, the amount of support from all the corporations and the people, the good people, when you have the right goal in your heart, the right dream that is for the better of the people, all the right people end up on your path, especially when you have that universal connection with your higher power and you believe in yourself, not your bank account. So after everybody had come up here, the amount of, by sitting around together as 16 people and talking, the work that those 4 months that I had taken to talk to Tony Met at the Summit Lodge, Rob Jones at Cal Tire, the Use It Center, the Rebuild It Center, every single, I should show you, every single person that I had met. I tell you what, I actually have it right here because I was going to bring it to my talk the other day. Do you see that?
Yeah. $1,700 pieces of paper and business cards in thing. King. Say again, we're losing you.
Is that better?
We can hear
we
you.
can hear you, yeah. We got 7,000 and...
Is that better?
I just can't, the screen's frozen, so we can't see you.
You know when you get my connection?
There you are.
I can see you now, super. So, yeah, and I stopped talking. I wait at a proper connection. One, by stopping at every single business. So my very first business I stopped at was Mr. Larry Falcon at Escape Route. And I walked in and talked to Larry. I said, Larry, Mr. Falcon, my name is Terrance Kosikar. And what I'd aim to do is start a camp for people. And I told him my story. I told him where I came from, the past of living in the streets, becoming a first responder when I came out of prison, and talked about getting into my addiction. And I believe I got to hear to it. All of my past is my lessons to be where I am today, and that's just who I am. I can't change it. I opened up to Larry Falcon, and I put my cards on the table, which normally any human being would say, get the fuck out of here, you crazy fucker. This man sat here, and he says, so after I talked to Larry, so what can I do for you? He says, I said, Mr. Falcon, all I need from you, sir, is a pair of hiking boots. Just one pair of hiking boots, your cheapest, shittiest pair of boots, so that I can continue flipping my tire every day to stay healthy. And I really want to get this camp started one day. Larry says, go pick yourself up a pair of boots over there. And I fastidious pair. He says, no. He gave me a $600 pair of Solomons. He gave me a brand new headlamp, 6 new pairs of merino wool socks, and a merino wool pants and shirt that were worth over $1,500 everything. He says, I believe in you. Never stop being who you are, because that's the most amazing story ever. He says, and when you get that camp going, you come back here, we're going to make sure that everybody. So that gave me that, oh my gosh, somebody believes in me. This is unbelievable.
Awesome.
And I ended up stopping at about 67 different sponsors to try to get this camp going. With those 1,700 people, those business cards and pieces of paper, I told the same story, the same truth, every single bit of it, no matter what they thought. And their reactions was, oh, I have a friend of mine that was a paramedic. I have a daughter that's in treatment. I have, my son is struggling right now. And let's sit down and talk. So in doing so, I'm realizing every single step of the way, by getting to talk and share who I really am and what I really intend to do in this world, it just became better and better and better. So I realized at that point, clearly, long ago, that it's not weak to speak. And if you can go ahead and just talk about who you are, you have to accept who you are first. And no matter what, if that person doesn't want to listen and that person doesn't like who you are, that's okay. There will be people like that. But as long as you love yourself, you know yourself, and you can be yourself, that's all that matters in this world. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So in time, I tell you, Jenny and Ralph, like over this course of these last 2 years, each step of the way, each day, each step, each flip of that tire, every country traveled to, every freaking airplane and hotel sat in, I realized that I'm not in control. I just am not in control of today. What happens tomorrow, what happens in 3 hours from now is actually already scripted. It's been scripted in stone long before we were humans on this earth. So I have to let go and quit trying to think that I'm in control of my destiny. I have to just wake up and do the right thing for people. The more I give to people and do that service that you're talking about, it all comes back tenfold and your path is clear.
Mm-hmm.
I have goosebumps right now, because that's when I remember the day when I came to that realization where I just have to let it go. I mean, I was doing the 12 steps at the time. So, I mean, that was step 3, make a decision to give my life over to the care of God, is my understanding. The tears were flowing, a big weight was lifted, and all of a sudden life got a whole lot effing easier.
Yes.
You know, and happier, and that's amazing. That's amazing. Is that your house? Is the camp, or have you now set up a camp for, like, how many people do you have at the camp now, and how often does it run, and how does it work?
Well, so Camp My Way, we were going to run this camp last summer, but during Breaking the Chains happened, while we were doing Breaking the Chains, when we flipped that tire over these 7 mountains here, I was getting a ton of emails from first responders across the country talking about how they were treated with WorkSafe BC. Families were calling me saying they've lost their son or their husband, that's when I decided, that's when I thought it was a lot more important to keep continuing, not only to raise awareness to post-traumatic stress, but also do my best to get in with the government to start making some changes to the Workers' Compensation Act, because nobody's coming up here until the Workers' Compensation Act gets changed. Like, people will come, but my army will help 5, 8, 6 people, where when the workers, I felt by helping get that Workers' Compensation Act changed, that would help thousands. And then I can go back and focus on my camp. I felt focusing on my camp last summer was selfish. And I thought, I'm only going to be able to help 6 people. I thought it'd be better to bust my ass for the next, I didn't care how long it takes. So the really cool thing is, here, I'll show you something. How do I do this? I'll show you what's happened. Well, I'm going to post it later tonight. We just tabled Bill M203 at the legislature 3 weeks ago. I've yet to share that on social media, but here we go. The bill is this close to being passed.
Wow.
So now I can refocus on the camp. This summer, what's going to happen, guys, is July, August, September, we're going to run 3 14-day camps. And this summer, we're only going to be taking addicts and alcoholics who have completed their 90 days from the Together We Can Drug and Alcohol Recovery Center. And also, we're going to big brother them up with the youth at risk. I'm only going to be able to take 6 campers and 2 facilitators this year. We hope. I've still not a penny to my name. In fact, my phone just got turned off the other day, and my power just about turned off yesterday. But so we'll be focusing on our fundraiser in June, early July. We'll do a crowdfunding, I think they call it, and reach out to the people to help not raise money, but we want to do like a gear drive. So again, like the first camp that ran, this camp will only run by what the community can help. So when we do a gear drive and we say we need 6 canoes, a couple paddle boards, life jackets, paddles, food, down the list, tents, backpacks. Well, when the community donates those things, that will kind of judge how many camps we can run for this season. And I'm feeling pretty confident. We have a lot of amazing sponsors on board right now. I'm sure the second we run this, they're already talking about a lot of amazing things. I'm very confident with our camps this summer. For long term, just across the lake here, there's a 47-acre chunk of land that we'll be hopefully purchasing in the next year or 2. And for long term, our 5-year goal with the camp, we'll be running 30, 60, 90-day programs for not only a first responder or any human being who is suffering with post-traumatic stress or any mental health challenges or addiction, whatever their escape might be. We'll run the 30, 60, 90-day programs. After they've come up here for 30, 60, 90 days, they have an opportunity to live this way. So they can now, hey, I don't want to be part of the cage. I like being up here. I like being in the mountains. We live off the land. We have our own gardens, our chickens, our horses, our cattle, our everything up here, and just live off the land naturally. And let's say you guys come up to the camp, say you come and do a 90-day program. Like, hey, why do we want to go back to the rat race or where there's internet connections and everything when this is where it's all really goes down? This is how simple living. You might feel that need for service. Well, now you get to live this way. And we'd really like to have the spouses of our campers come up here also, families. Ultimately, I'd like to have this entire town as our community. So there's about 70 or 80 houses in town. We'd like to end up also purchasing in the long term and have these camps set up all the way across the country. That would be just amazing.
That's amazing. That's I love your outlook, and it's just I think with that what I really like is, hey, I can help 6 people or I can help many people. So take the action to help many people. That's very selfless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm pretty excited. I do feel horrible for not running the camp last year because I set that goal, that dream. But when you start post-traumatic stress awareness program and you're getting all these calls and emails from people across the country who are like battling on their 9th year, 9 years, that's a long time trying to battle these people. When you look at our suicide rate, and these are, so unacceptable. So like I said, the real good news is we just tabled that bill again. So And I'm pretty sure you guys have it already passed in Ontario, right? The presumption? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you know anybody who's gone through that procedure? Like, is it just looking good on paper or is it actually working?
I'm doing it. I'm on it.
And?
Well, honestly, I haven't had any issues. There's been no questions from my employer. I actually rarely ever hear from my employer or my supervisors at work. Previously, like I've used WSIB, that's what we call it here, like workplace safety insurance. So I've used that for a physical injury I think only once really in my entire career. I needed it for a physical injury. And even comparatively speaking to the physical injury and a mental health injury, two totally separate departments. So the people that hound the shit out of you to get back to work when you've hurt your back, those people are not dealing with the mental health injuries. So it's been a really supportive process, actually. I mean, I was really skeptical initially when I went off, thinking, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't want to have to deal with the stress of this organization the way that we've had to deal with them for physical injuries in the past.
Right.
But there's really, you get your documentation filled out by your psychologist, and I don't hear from them. So,
amazing.
Yeah, we do. I mean, my psychologist does assessments with me every 4 weeks. She has all the communication between herself and WSIB in reference to me. I don't, occasionally they call, but I think maybe 3 times in the time I've been off.
But like even I noticed because I saw what you went through with the physical injury, and she even said to the person, "Is this the same organization? Because you are so nice
so much nicer
to me, and
so much more supportive."
And thank you. You literally
amazing.
Like what?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because the department that handles physical injuries, they just want to get you back to work, and they don't care if you're coming in on crutches. They just want you back to work so that they don't have to pay you anymore. So it feels from the injured worker. And then when I that first phone call that I took from WSIB when I first went off and was first diagnosed, like I didn't even want to answer the phone. I saw those, the WSIB on the call display. I thought, man, I don't have to talk to these people, but the amount of stress that talking to these people has always sort of brought about for me. I thought, I don't want to take this call, but they've been tremendously supportive. And I mean, I still believe that there's a bit of a process that has to evolve. I mean, it's very new, and I can only speak from my own experience. I don't know how other people's experience has been. I have heard.
We have heard some kind of bad stories and stuff.
Yeah, but in my personal experience, it's been exactly what I needed.
Let me ask you this. What I'm really curious, like my biggest okay, so they've accepted your claim, they're giving you the space that you need, but are they giving you the tools that you do need, not just to get back to work, but to manage the onset of the symptoms on a daily basis?
Well, and this is something that I've sort of been addressing over the last several months for myself, and I think WSIB is happy to accept the assessments and reassessments from my psychologist, but I see my psychologist for 1 hour a week. So outside of that, 1 hour a week is not going to get me back to work. So that said, I've called WSIB because I was referred to a naturopath to have acupuncture done to treat my PTSD. So when I went to WSIB with that and said, I've been referred to a naturopath, were you guys going to cover the cost of my naturopath? No. So they're covering the cost, absorbing the cost for my psychological appointments.
Yes.
They're not looking outside the box at all, though. It's just the psychology.
See, and that's precisely what I mean when I had said earlier about having that broken leg and going back to the hospital for 1 hour per week You're never going to heal your leg. You have to walk around on that broken leg 6 days a week plus 23 hours a day, like 6 days, however many hours that is. And you go sit down with a broken leg at the hospital. Okay, for 1 hour, it relaxes. And then you have to walk around for 7 more days, which is absolute, again, bullshit, because you're never going to heal at that rate. And this is why I feel if we can get camps started across this whole country, that people like yourself and Mr. Ralph there can go, you as a couple can go to this camp for 30, 60, 90 days. See, because this is what they do in Germany. You guys know I fly often to Germany to learn what they're with their first responders and their people who are dealing with post-traumatic stress, and why their suicide rate is 0. Because when they are taken out of service and they do go get that help, they are getting the help 8 hours a day, 7 days a week with their family. Not at home. They have to actually go to a facility where their kids come, they check in, the kids go to school still, the wives, or husbands, and they're back to work within 30, 60, 90 days.
Wow.
So, the way the Germany sees it is they've got a massive investment into you as a paramedic. Last thing, they want you not only back to work, that's really the least of their worries. They want to make sure that your family and your sanity and your health is number one. And that's why they really do a lot of prevention to prevent you from ending up having to go sit at home and suffer in silence, long before you get your ass in that ambulance or fire truck, or before you get your badge and gun, or before you start 911 calls. It's post-traumatic stress, education, and they sit around as a team in all departments and they practice talking with each other. That's why I really beat home the it's not weak to speak either. Also because these, let's just say the Bad Oldberg Fire Department, what they do on a monthly is all firemen come in and their spouses. And they have a barbecue, they have a dinner, whatever it might be. And they sit around just like at an AA meeting. Hey, my name's Bob, and, I'm having a great day today, but the wife might not be. Bob's wife might not be. So all the other firemen and the wives will actually really, truly help support Bob's wife. You get to talk to the critical incident stress debrief team. You get to talk to the psychologist, psychiatrist. So you're very familiar with them. And by listening and talking with everybody, you actually feel safe. You feel that it's okay to talk. And if you are having issues, challenges, which is going to happen because you're a human being when you constantly endure trauma on a daily basis, hey, I'm not feeling so good. Hey, no problem, Bob. We're going to take you and your family. We're going to take care of you. And you do. And the other people on the department, they see this. They see that they're not going to get fired. They see that they're not suicidal. They see that they're not abusing the drugs and alcohol or the meds. So they have no problem with speaking up either. And you're not considered weak if you speak. And the key is, one of the major keys is practice, routine. What I find with my personal daily regimen here and the tools that we offer people here at this camp is when we wake up in the morning, we're not just cell phone checking Facebook likes and shares. And no, it's self. It's wake up. When your body wakes up, come outside, do your breaths, go for a walk, some exercise, no talking. We don't talk up here until after lunch. It's just self. It's focus on self. And when you practice this on a daily basis, when you do get back to the cage, like I find when I get back to Whistler, I have to wake up and do the exact same thing as I do every single day. I have to wake up, make my bed, walk over to Nodar's Memorial or wherever I am and sit down. I don't care if it's at a traffic light and I have to sit right there. People don't like it very much, but I don't care. That's my routine. I'll sit there and I will do my meditation right on the middle of the sidewalk. It doesn't matter. I have to stay within self. But it's practicing that routine. It's practicing that daily. That's why I'm asking, what do they do for you on that side of the country? And what can they do here when this bill does pass? Sure, the bill might pass and they can fork out a couple dollars, but is that truly going to help? No. Or two, the bills you've got psychiatry, you've got to understand about stress, the signs and symptoms to work, but do you really have any actual tools to help manage the onset of that adrenaline that is still trapped in your nervous system? Probably not. And that's where we need to start going into WorkSafe or WISLMOP, whatever they're calling themselves, and say, hey, you guys, why are we waiting until we're fucking broken to fix us? How about some more prevention? How about WorkSafe start coming into your paramedic station, the fire departments, and start actually using some tools on a daily basis with everybody who's doing okay today, so that when something happens, we are ready and perfect, instead of having to go jump on some system for a year or two that's just not going to work. It will. I don't mean to put it down that way, but you understand where I'm getting at?
I agree, because then that way, the long term, then the responsibility almost go back on to the individual in a teamwork kind of way, like what you say. I mean, for myself, that was the most important. My last week of rehab, we have all the older guys that have graduated and been out there come back, and they give you some advice. And one guy said, my only advice I'm going to give you, everything you learned here, everything you do here, when you get out there and now you have a job and now you have this and you have all these people pissing you off, wake up every day and do the exact same. Whatever you can take from here, do out there. And that saved my life. That absolutely. I 9 years later, I'm still waking up in the morning going, do what I did 9 years ago in that rehab for a year. And
that's right.
Yeah, and I do, like, we've had conversations about, like, to prevent, like, you're here and you're being treated well, but let's make it so you don't have to get here, or
precisely.
You know, and that comes from self-care, but nobody who wakes up in the morning and really knows, like, you're unique to be able to just figure that stuff out on your own. I wouldn't have been able to, and I even said to myself, I wish they taught this shit in school. I wish they taught me how to talk in school, because I didn't know how to. I was happy or sad or pissed off, and most of the time I was pissed off because I couldn't identify if I was happy or sad. So I was just pissed off, and, you know.
Precisely. I sat here when I sat on my tire every day and getting to know myself and going all the way back and saying, where could I have learned something different? And I sat here and thought, well, WorkSafe could have taught me about post-traumatic stress. No. Well, maybe, wait a minute. Maybe when I was in prison, they could have, no. They don't teach you in the streets. Should they have taught me? No. And I went all the way back to kindergarten, 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, where I am living with the fact that, and unconsciously, I'm living with the fact that, I don't know if you remember this part of the story, Jenny, but when I was 5 years old, my father had burnt the house down when we were sleeping on purpose. And he ended up going to Kingston Penitentiary for many years and then transferred over to Penetanguishene, which is the Institute for the Criminally Insane over there. And he spent 30 years. He just died in there about 6 years ago. But as a child, I I guess I don't remember. I endured trauma. My dad yelling at my mom. My mom was only 15. This life-threatening situation with maybe the house. I don't remember. All I remember is feeling very different as a child, getting picked on. Yeah, where's my dad? That anger, that want to talk but nobody's listening, and you're the bad kid, so you're being punished for being bad. But are you really being bad? No, you have no way to deal with self. You have no acknowledgement or self-awareness of who you are or why. So I go all the way back and say to myself, why is it? Why not 1 hour a day? Every single day, you got to walk your ass into that school. There's self-care, self-awareness being taught. At that age, when we are the sponge at that age, that's where we need to pick up our tools. By 10, 11, 12 years old, you're kind of an old dog trying to teach an old dog a new trick.
Yeah.
At 20, 30 years old, buddy, let me tell you how difficult it is, right? And that's only good for business. That's why the education system is the way it is. We can't have us thinking too much. We can't have us too self-aware, or else we're not going to wear the collar, and we're not going to be good slaves to the system, to society, right? So I agree with you there, that when you say you were younger, you had that anger built up. And if at that age we can not only just learn self-awareness, but we can actually start understanding why Daryl is angry.
Yeah.
Maybe Daryl witnessed dad hit mom. Maybe dad touches Daryl. I don't know, but you understand what I'm saying? We bring that into school, and we bring that into our people, where now start, oh, that guy's an asshole. Well, mom's not Daryl nothing. Education's not Daryl nothing. So you have to figure it out on your own. And by the time you get 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, you ain't figured out nothing. You got all this. So guess what? Drink, that first line, that first toke, boom. It's escaped those feelings of 15 years, and you are hook, line, and sinker. You're done, right? You're on. You're hook, fish on, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now when we talk about prevention, not only do we try to do this within, like, say, Jenny's department, but let's go back into the education system, back to let's do mental health prevention for all of the society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know how many people are diagnosed with eating disorders, bipolar, antidepressants, all this shit? No, they're human. Yeah, buddy, it's good for business.
Yeah. Speaking of which, tomorrow night, that's a good thing in your kids' school. They're doing a seminar on what is it? Mental health.
Mental health and like fostering resiliency in your children, and so it's clearly we're the only ones that think this way.
What age?
Well, like our oldest,
grade 8.
Yeah, well, it's actually, is it actually? No, it is. It's at Brady School. So yeah, grade 8. It came home with our daughter, who's in grade 6, but the school that it's being held at is a middle school that goes up to grade 8. So it's sort of, it's dealing with kids at this elementary school age.
Is this for the parents, or are the kids coming also?
No, for the parents.
Okay, let me ask you for yourself, the tools that you guys use, Jenny and Ralph, the tools that you guys do, like Mr. Ralph, you say, something that you learned in treatment 9 years ago, you still do to this day. And Jenny, the tools that you use with your exercise and your nutrition, are you helping share those tools on a daily, routinely basis with your own children?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
To the point where they think we're nuts.
Good, but guess what? Yeah, that's all you're taking. I love it. Good. That's now.
Our son has starred in the workout videos for our women's group quite a bit.
That's awesome, man. That's so good. I love to hear that.
I think there's a really valuable piece there when it comes to family and spouses and managing PTSD, mental health, addiction, all of those things.
Yes.
I think for, again, our generation, I say that as people in our 40s, that that we sort of still make this ours instead of, like, yeah, I go to my psychologist and I talk to all these professionals, but when I come home for a very long time, I close that door. Like once I came into my own home, my safe space, and nobody in my home, in my bubble, and those people didn't know what was happening. So I think a big piece that I neglected for a long time was communicating with my family. Our children are 15, 13, and 12. Yeah. They're clearly at a place where they are capable of understanding that something is going on with mom. Like, absolutely. And, I'm sort of in this sort of maternal protective, overprotectiveness that I have maintained for a very long time since they were in my family. But, I sort of protected them from that. I thought, no, I'm going to hide it from you. I'm going to hide it from all of you. Well, who knows me better than this man and our children? So absolutely. I think when I started communicating really what was going on with me to my husband and to my children, like really valuable piece to my children, that's when things started to change for me. That's when I started to realize, like, we're all in this together. And there's like strength in numbers. And the biggest strength I draw from is my family. Like, yes. That's everything. That's my world right here. Yeah, that's right. So, but I think again, we really do. We protect them. We think we're protecting them, That's right. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I got off a little bit there, but
that's good. Good. I'm glad we're both on the same team because that's what we do, buddy. We're talking. That's what we're meant to do. Set it off, buddy. All you want. No, that's precisely you nailed it, Jenny. Absolutely. And tomorrow, when you're at your parent talk at the school, get up and take the mic from the guy up there and throw that down. Yeah. Yeah. Because the parents want to hear a parent who has been through, that's the thing with what a lot of people can do with work safe and stuff out there too, is take it from a survivor, take it from somebody who doesn't just have 8 years at university, take it from somebody who's lived it and is actually using the tools. Mm-hmm. I ask if you can get up and talk tomorrow, and what you just said will plant seeds in 90%. Well, you'll plant them in everybody. Yeah, and that's a huge message and tool that you get to share with people right there. Is what is at home. I couldn't even agree with you anymore. Like, buddy, if you have an opportunity, go in and talk to them early tomorrow and just say, hey, I'd like 5 minutes to set it off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great advice. Yeah, because a lot of people have this fear, right? That's one thing I notice about you big time is like you're fearless. So you don't give a shit what people think about you, man. And but that's how you get shit done. You just you know what you want to see and you do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why nothing gets done in this world, because we all live in fear. We all live in that, like, I shouldn't be that way. Somebody's going to say this, don't say that. And that's why nothing gets done. So when we drop those borders and parameters and we just go do it without worrying about judgment and do from your own heart, because I can't change my past. I can't change the fact that I used to snort crystal meth or sell my body for sex. I can't change the fact that I've been depressed and suicidal. So guess what? Wait a minute. That's free education. You should be proud of that. Those are gifts. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. So when we look at them as a gift, it's like, oh, hey, cool. Let's start sharing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, Terrance, we're going to have to start wrapping it up here.
Okay, sounds good.
But just quickly tell sell your place, websites and
Oh, do you end up recording this?
Yeah.
We didn't record. Please edit. I go off way too much. There's nothing to sell. There's nothing to sell. Mother Nature gives us all everything. There's nothing here to sell. There's this is everybody's got a backyard. Everybody has a river they can go sit by. It's free. Go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. Get to know yourself, be yourself, and love yourself. And that for sure. Nothing's for sale. It's all given to us. Like,
sorry, how do people get in touch with you?
People can get in touch with me. They can Facebook me at Terrance Joseph Kosikar, or they can actually. Let me ask you guys this: Do you guys have a page? This new page that you've opened. This what is it called?
The group, you mean?
Is that what it is? A group?
Yeah, it's a group. It's
Who's in it?
Yeah, you're in the group. Health and wellness approach to PTSD and recovery and alcoholism.
I am going to share a piece of. I met somebody 2 days ago. They're called Expedition. There's a husband and a wife, and they travel around the world, and they pay for nothing. They're sponsored. They have very big sponsors. Patagonia, they do shows on Discovery Channel, yada, yada, yada. And they suggested to me the other day is to open a page, not a group, open a page so that when you want to start making actually dollars or get sponsorships like through mental health facilities, through protein supply companies, exercise equipment, when you can show those companies pay actually generates views and likes and shares, those companies would be very, very happy to give you X amount at no cost and dollars to go with per share and view. And I just learned this like 2 days ago. So if while you're in your early stages of your group, from a business standpoint, I'm pretty sure we're talking to Jenny last time, that was your goal. Go to a page.
So we do have a page to Professionals, yeah.
Yeah. The only reason.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the only reason why we've kept this as a closed group is because some people haven't come out with their story yet. And so for them, anonymity is very important, and that sort of level of privacy you can't always get with a page that's devoted to the same topic. So we do have our business page, and we do share a lot of our recovery stories on our business page, but just like I say, just to sort of respect people's privacy a little bit.
Well, and the group is specifically to deliver content,
like for free, like
so here's like tomorrow I'm running a seminar on creating goals and following them through. Just posting videos like this, interviews for people just to see like what can be done, what some other people are doing, what some other people are going through, and then and just worksheets, because I'll tell you, pen to paper, that gets a lot of things accomplished. It gets a lot of things out of here and a lot of things here, like I can touch, right?
Well, just like what you're doing with your exercise, that's hands-on, that's working through it, that's setting that little goal that today I'm going to lift 10 pounds 10 times. Okay, that's just that exercise. That's your hands-on. Tell me about like I've rambled all about myself. Tell me about what you guys are doing now.
To cope wise? Coping?
No. Business wise, you said you have a page, and just what you're doing for business. Like what's going on? You have an exercise.
Like I said, I was working at a youth rehab, and I just kind of wasn't agreeing with their politics so much. I was starting to have anxiety of just going into work. It was just a lot of, I just knew what was in store for me, and there wasn't a whole lot of support from the management, stuff like that. Jenny and I have always, with me coming from the recovery background, as soon as I met Jenny, it was kind of like, she's just like, who the hell is this guy? This guy cries and he says, I feel, and he uses I statements. You know, so right away we kind of always had that communication and dialogue, and she basically looked at me and said, you need to take some time. You need to take time out and figure out what's going on. So basically, with a lot of thought and planning, we decided, I'm going to go full in on this. Our niche has changed because now with the PTSD, we can now niche down and figure out who exactly it is. I mean, any company can say, hey, we're going to work out and stuff like that, but to find your market and who you're going to actually help is a big thing to do. So to find your niche, and so obviously it's the niche kind of found us. And so basically what we're doing is my head is about to explode from everything that I've just learned. It's like going back to school again. I'm learning social media all over the place, and just basically how best to just get us out there as like us, not trying to be, hey, sell this and sell that and sell that, like what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, we do have bills to pay. I quit my job, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's also just to give as much as you can, right? To give, and hopefully the goal is to help as many people as possible, and at the end of the day still be able to pay some bills here and there,
yes.
And my I guess if you have a mission statement or anything like that, it's just exactly what you're saying, and it's exactly what Clint was saying last night. It's taking action, serving, trying to balance physical, mental, and spiritual. And if you have that in balance, and you talk and you get support for it, because you cannot be alone. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, yes, be in self, and then find relationships and talk to people, and just talking and speaking and support, positive support.
Yes.
That's my thing, because it's worked for me. I don't tell anybody to do anything that I don't do.
Nice. Good. Yes. So let's say, because I know a few people on the East Coast, let's say they do need some help. So what is your offering? You have a business at your house, you have a studio, like what exactly, like I know you want to help, those are your goals, but are we just doing extra training, nutrition plans?
Well, we're losing you a bit.
Still?
You're just frozen.
I hope I have at least have a smile on my face. Don't you hate when you get frozen? You've got that like look in your face. You know what I mean?
So we do have a one-on-one studio in the house.
Okay.
And then I've been focusing online, because we have a program that I just find, again, you can help more people online. People don't, if they come to me one-on-one, there's going to be, it's going to be probably like, more hands-on and everything like that. But with the online, you have access to us 24/7. The only time is when I'm sleeping. Other than that, I'm pretty much trying to check out what's going on in the group and helping people out, answering questions, deliver workouts, what to eat. We have theme-based days, right? To get into the spiritual side, journaling, all this kind of stuff. So
okay, cool. Cool. Well, maybe we should, see if maybe this summer you guys want to come on out here for one of our camp programs and just join with us for at least one of the programs, and take what you feel, what you learn, and what you see here back to Ontario. Start something out there, like with what you're doing. But maybe, I don't know, what town are you guys in again?
Cambridge.
We're just
Cambridge. Oh yeah. Right.
No,
Right.
you guys out there, it's all Toronto. It's all Toronto. I lived out there for a while. And yeah, I'm from Hamilton. Oh yeah. Here's my buddy Daryl. He's from Toronto. No.
Right. I understand. I'm from Kitchener, so I'm familiar with Cambridge for sure, a little bit. Been many years, but cool. Well, listen, let me ask you guys. I'm going to just put a thing out there for you guys, and I'm only saying this because this was. I'm only suggesting this because it's something that I had just learned recently in the last year myself. Let's start calling post-traumatic stress an injury, not a disorder. When we call it an injury, it's a lot more accurate, it's a lot more hopeful, and it's a lot more honorable. Mm-hmm. The Canadian military has just changed it through legislature that now a soldier who is diagnosed is not diagnosed with PTSD ever again. It's now called an operational stress injury. It's an OSI. So now that the military has taken on this new word, because post-traumatic stress disorder was only named that back in 1986. It's changed names 4 times since 1852. So now when we start calling it an injury, it allows the patient to actually feel, hey, this isn't a life sentence. This is like having a broken leg. I can hope. It gives them that strength of, what do I got to do to get better, and actually start picking up those tools to get better. It's awesome how with just one word will change the mindset for life. So that's why you'll see on all my recent posts in the last few months is always just post-traumatic stress.
You know what? I'm going to change that as soon as we're done here.
I know you will. And
that's great.
I know. This is when we want to have more. I'm only sharing this with you. I love you guys. I love the work that you're doing. I love the efforts that you're putting in, and I love the service that you do. And I want you to succeed. And the people that are out there who want to help get on board with you, when they hear just that you're calling it an injury, they'll be like, "Aha, okay, we're in." So nice. we want that for all of us, right? So awesome.
That's awesome.
We'll talk to you guys. Hey, you know what? Reach out anytime, buddy. I'm always here for you guys. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And you take care, my friend.
For sure. Absolutely. Thank you for your time. And I really appreciate you even wanting to talk with. I'm nobody, nothing. So it's feels good for somebody to want to talk with me and learn a little bit from my experiences. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Terrance.
Good night.
Okay. Bye for now, guys.
Take care.
All right.